underway.
Yeah, it's a story that Danny Monteverdi broke this afternoon with Ramon Vargas from our partners over at the Times-Picayune New Orleans Advocate. Danny was there when investigators arrived, and he has the latest.
Federal authorities allegedly searched Jay-Z and Beyonce's mansion owing to their apparent links to Diddy's continuing legal difficulties.
Do you feel the federal government will probably speak to Jay-Z in regards?
They already have.
In the midst of Diddy's legal troubles, an attorney has purportedly stated that new victims are coming forward to help with federal investigators. These people are reportedly willing to exp more crimes perpetrated by Diddy, which may result in extra legal issues for the music mogul.
Promised earlier this week, he said this is an ongoing investigation and that
witnesses know and how they can help them convict Diddy, and that's the name of the game at this point for the feds. Yeah, the question is if there will be a jury, because yesterday you reported the name of the game at this point for the feds. Yeah, the question is if there will be a jury, because yesterday you reported that a former warden had a warning for Diddy that he should watch his back in prison. Yeah, look, this is, he's going to be in this at Brooklyn, at MDC Brooklyn. Who knows? But it could be up to a year before this trial begins, and obviously they're going over the years. The two musicians have been known to frequent parties together, raising questions about Jay-Z's knowledge or involvement in these contentious gatherings.
There's just been a shocking revelation from federal authorities regarding a highly private and scandalous video involving none other than Jay-Z and Beyonce, reportedly taken during a wild party hosted by Diddy.
A long-standing story indicates Jay-Z was associated with Kathy White, a lady who died under unexplained circumstances. Diddy reportedly leaked sensitive information to accuse Jay-Z of having a connection with her.
It's like he's inching closer to jail time. The reason he isn't in jail is because Diddy is allegedly working with authorities to expose Jay-Z
and Kathy ignited after she was observed at a Las Vegas nightclub celebrating with Jay-Z and Diddy. It didn't take long for people to start connecting the links and figuring out that Kathy was Jay-Z's concubine. Kathy had enough of living a double life and decided that it was finally time to tell her tale, and that's when she was fed. First responders to the site felt her death was suspicious. An NYPD officer speculated that, quote, someone might have given Kathy a bad drug, end quote, and ordered a toxicology report, but that report never arrived, and it sounds like somebody was drawing strains to get her death hushed up. Renewed attention on this case was begun by someone who also believes Jay had something to do with Kathy's death. Liz Krogan Liz wrote an extensive report about the whole incident, where she talked about how she sought out Kathy for an interview about Jay-Z. Kathy allegedly told Liz that she would consider doing a tell-all about the affair, then all of a sudden Liz couldn't get through to Kathy again, and when she finally got a hold of one of her friends, she was informed that Kathy had passed away. Another claim that has emerged online suggests that both Diddy and Jay-Z have shown inappropriate interest in young women, a charge similar to the allegations Diddy has made.
Wait, so hold on. Why is there chatter about Jay-Z being in the same club as Diddy? Allegedly, it's...
Vocalist Jaguar Wright has been vocal about the alleged misdeeds of several industry figures, including both Jay-Z and Diddy.
Oh, this about to get fun for me.
Critics claimed that the two were involved in illicit activities and that Jay-Z is now at risk of being exposed alongside Did.
If he did have something to do with all the things that...
As Diddy's legal issues intensify, many supporters and critics have called for Jay-Z to face accountability if he was indeed aware of or involved in Diddy's alleged crimes.
Jay and Diddy go way back, especially in the 90s and early 2000s. There was a time that when you thought about New York rap...
Now, I truly don't think Jay had anything to do with it, but if he had, I wouldn't really be surprised, because for me, when I look at Jay, when I look at Diddy, I think of the epitome of just like the music industry and the rap game in particular, of what happens when you transition from music into other industries. Jay right now is at the point where he is trying to get into rooms with people who otherwise he would never even get to interact with, especially with the NFL. And this isn't a seat or anything, this has been ongoing for years, and even back in 2019. They said there was no chance for him to get part of a team or even own a team, but yet he still broke green deals with the Colin Kaepernick stuff. And he still broke green deals with the whole Jay-Z Super Bowl stuff. You could tell he's still trying to break into those rooms and be considered to be a part owner of an NFL team or even a full-on owner, and that's the thing, like, to us. Jay has the money correct, like $2.5 billion is a lot of money that's more than enough money for his generations of his lineage. But when you compare it to NFL money, look at that. Look at that $78.4 billion that's the proprietor of Walmart. $20.6 billion Stan, $16.2 billion Jerry Jones, $13.8 billion to us, $2.5 billion to $13 billion don't really make a difference. It's still the same lift stop, but to them it's buying power and influence. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, like Jay's up there. He is up there, he has done extremely well for himself, he and his wife have done extremely well for themselves, for them and their family. What I'm trying to say is, I don't really think Jay's a part of it because he's not even a drop in the pond, he's a fish swimming with much larger whales than sharks. Roger Bonds' former bodyguard has come forward with claims about Diddy's criminal behavior, allegedly implicating Jay-Z in the process.
I look at Jay-Z and I say, Juan, Tata, Emery.
I've seen Jay Brown office and I seen you know what I'm saying, like, okay, these are my guys, no matter who I'm underneath the umbrella or no matter who I am meeting with, they taken care of now with the people that say this about Jay, oh well, Jay's next, and then you say how he kind of maintains his empire this way. You feel like that's a possibility for Jay to be next to be taken down. If he was to ask me, I would say no, I would say. When I look and see J1 aligned himself with loyalty around him, come on, we just seen Rolling Stone just come out and you got 50 plus X employees and everybody else talking about Diddy and everything he did from college, so that shows you that who did he have around him? We call that a career criminal. You know what, say Bonds has been a key figure in stirring up controversy, but much of his testimony has yet to be verified through legal channels.
He alleged that the Sean Carter, Sean Combs, Jay-Z, they would be in bed together from time to time. Overheard Jay-Z saying,
Jay-Z and young women throughout the years that everyone has just ignored, but for starters, there are only two people on this planet who are allowed to call P. Diddy by his first name Sean, and that is his mother and Jay-Z, because they're actually both named Sean. Even the fact alone that P. has repeatedly mentioned that there are only two people on this planet allowed to call him by his real name, and one of those is Jay-Z. It highlights that these two were incredibly close, but even before the P. Diddy information came out, Jay-Z's age gap, relationships, and just the fact that he was often surrounded by girls so much younger than him always sat a little strange to me for STS. There were always rumors surrounding this woman who goes by Foxy Brown. Here she is 15 and Jay-Z's 23, and then there are some more suggestive photos like this taken with Aaliyah when she was between like 15 to 17. At this point he was in his very late 20s. And this was all, of course, until he met Beyonce, which the age at which they met seems to change based off of what interviews from them you read now. Beyonce, of course, always knows to make it clear they met when she was 18, which is still insanely young because he still would have been about 30 years old, but according to Cosmo, there are some interviews in which the timeline Jay-Z gives would have put Beyonce around the age of 17, which again would have made him 29 and her a high schooler, and if that's not all odd enough too, there's the story of how he signed Rihanna to Def Jam Records when she was 16 years old. They flew her up to meet Jay-Z, and they've talked about this a number of times now, but they essentially trapped a 16-year-old girl and held her in the office for hours until 3:00 a.m. when she finally agreed to sign. Throughout the growing controversy surrounding Diddy, Jay-Z has notably remained silent. His lack of a public statement regarding Diddy's arrest and the ongoing investigations has led some to believe that he is distancing himself from the situation.
Maybe even literally. Come on, Jay. Don't think we forgot this.
__, I'm not sure when they became friends, but you're trying to tell me Jay doesn't know what he had going on, and there's no __ way he knew. The reason I believe he rated him as the worst is because his comfortability is insane. Jay-Z must have somehow gotten the doings that he did in the freak-offs and any documents that he had on him and got them __ erased because he damn sure stopped answering Diddy calls. If he felt like Diddy still had something over him, best believe he would have been answering them calls. He'd have been front and center showing his support, but that's not the case. This was the ultimate power move by Jay-Z. He saw one allegation come out, and he was like, yeah, this is my time vibes, that's what he did. That's just my perspective, but TikTok, this is just for amusement reasons only. I lied about everything, it is simply a joke. Diddy and Jay-Z are both boys. Jay-Z did not snake Diddy. Jay-Z did nothing. This is simply a __ tale, so don't do too much calm. Others, however, interpret his silence as an attempt to avoid further scrutiny given the allegations circulating online. Diddy has allegedly begun revealing details about Jay-Z's participation in wild parties where inappropriate activities occurred. These claims include shocking descriptions of partygoers and questionable behavior.
Important to remember that Sean Diddy Combs is presumed innocent, and we have to separate the civil allegations as well as the court.
So trafficking barring a whole lot of claims that he utilized in his enterprise, and he had his subordinates assisting him to perform these crimes, and again, he is presumed innocent. Furthermore, Dame Dash, a close associate of Jay-Z, has been a persistent critic of his former business partner. Dash has specifically mentioned Jay-Z's treatment of the late singer Elite, accusing him of misconduct, adding fuel to these allegations. People are now coming out and exposing whatever they know about Jay-Z and Diddy's relationship, as well as anything they have witnessed. Do you believe that more prominent figures in the music industry will face an investigation alongside Diddy?
So one TikToker recently went viral after claiming that her mom, who was friends with Jamie.
This TikToker Diddy was also allegedly a regular at these parties, along with many other high-profile industry men. A lot of your favorite celebrities were there, including someone who may or may not have been married to someone who was drinking that lemonade. So the TikTok just implied that Jay-Z was in attendance, playing naked basketball with Diddy and his friends. That's all for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.